Let's talk about graphing just in general. If you got y is equal to 1/5 x minus 2. First off, we need to identify, we got y is equal to 1/5 x minus 2. We want to identify our slope and our y-intercept. If it's in slope-intercept form means everything's the first power and you got y equals and then some kind of number, x, then plus or minus some kind of number. So if it's in this form, then whatever number's in front of your x is going to be your slope. So your slope is 1/5. Whatever number's here at the end is going to be your y-intercept. So they tell us the y-intercept is -2. Okay, well, we go to our y-intercept, which is -2. And your specific question was about up and down. And I'm thinking you mean the slope. This is the change in y. And this part will be the change in x. Now, if your number up on top is positive, that means that you're going to go up. If your number on the bottom is negative, or I mean your number on top is negative, that means you'll go down. So change in y is up and down. Now change in x. If, try to write that again, a little bit neater. If it's positive, that means it'll go right. And if it's negative, that means it'll go left. Okay, so we already did our y-intercept. We put a point there. Now from there, we're going to use a slope to get our second point. Well, we have a positive 1, and we said if it's positive, that means we go up. So this is saying we're going to go up 1. And if the number down below is positive, that means we're going right. So this tells us we're going right 5. So from the point we just drew, we're going to go up 1 and right 5. So I'm right here. I go up 1, then I go right 5 units. And that's where I put my second point. Now after you get your second point, you draw a line through them. Let's try it again. There we go. No, I can't draw a very straight line anyway, but I could at least do better than that. And that would be our graph. So again, this tells us the up and down and left and right portion. Now let me show another example of that. Let me clean out this tablet. Okay, let's say I have y is equal to -3x plus 2. Now remember, if it's in slope-intercept form, meaning you got y by itself, then whatever number's in front of your x, that's going to be your slope. So telling us slope is -3. Now we really want it to be in fraction form. So if it isn't already in fraction form, you can always put it over 1. Your number at the end is going to be your y-intercept. So your y-intercept is 2. Now this is a -3. Remember, this is a change in y over change in x, and change in y is up or down. Since this is a negative, that means we're going to go down 3. And since this is a positive 1, that means we're going to go right 1. Okay, our y-intercept is 2, so I'm going to go put a point at my y-intercept. And from there, I'm going to go down 3 and right 1. So go down 3 units, 1, 2, 3, and right 1 unit. And that's where I put my second point. Then once you get your second point, you draw a line through them. And that would be our graph. Now let's look at the one in the book. Okay, this one is c is equal to t plus 45. Different variables, but still the same idea. Okay. Well, whatever number's in front of our variable right here, this is going to be our slope. Now there is no number there, so your slope by default is 1. Now remember, we want that in fraction form, so I'll put that as 1 over 1. And this number here at the end will be our y-intercept. So our y-intercept is 45. Now this is a change in y over change in x. Change in y is up or down. Since this is a positive one, that means we're going to go up 1. And this, since it's a positive 1, means we're going to go right 1. So we go put a point at 45, and you see from the graph here, it's a little hard to see, but they put a point at 45. What do they have it going up to? 100? Okay. If you're doing this by hand, then you kind of guesstimate it as well as you can. Okay, 55 or 45, and this would be 25, and this would be 75. And what do they have this axis going to? 50, looks like. So it's going to 50. Now, if you notice the 50 on the vertical versus the horizontal axis, they have different distances, so it'll be skewed a little bit. That's okay. Okay, y-intercept is 45. I'd go up to where I think the y-intercept would 45 would be. Halfway in between 25 and 50, 37.5, 45, I don't know, maybe right there. Now, it's really hard to figure out your up 1 and right 1 when these are so condensed like this. But up 1, right 1, it says right there. So then you draw a line through them. Now I'd have to really draw a big graph to see a real accurate representation of this. But that's how they come up with this graph. If you're talking about looking at the up and down. Okay. Now, this example here, they really don't talk about how they come up with the graph, but you could do the same thing here. You might be looking at negative 7.5. How in the world do you handle that? Well, negative 7.5 a plus 21 87.5. 2,187.5. Now this would be our slope. So this is m, negative 7.5, and this would be our y-intercept. Now, when you got decimals, this would become negative 75 over 10. How do I know that? Basically, you drop the decimal, and this ends in the tenths place. Since it ends in the tenths place, that's why you put a 10 down here. Now, you could, if you wanted to, simplify this. There'd be nothing wrong with that. But it might actually be easier to keep these numbers fairly large than it is to have small. Because when you got small, you see over here, it's really hard to see what's going on. But if I had changed this to having 50 over 50, we know 50 over 50 is equal to 1 also. This would tell us go up 50 and right 50. That might be a little easier to see how to go up 50 and right 50 on this. Okay, now negative up on top, that tells us down. So this would tell us down 75, and this would tell us right 10. So I'd go to my y-intercept, and I would go down 75 and right 10. Again, not so easy to see. They don't even put the y-intercept on here. Now, for purposes of if you're using a graphing calculator, t plus 45. A little hard to see if you don't know what these numbers represent. That's why it's important, even if you use technology, that you have an understanding of what all these, the y-intercept is 45. And let's see why. I don't got a calculator loaded on this particular computer. Okay, I guess I won't show why. But if I were to graph it, plug it in the graphing calculator. I have two computers. This is my brand new one. I haven't figured out how to. I'm thinking about just buying a new emulator because I can't seem to get it transferred over from my other computer. Okay, t plus 45. You graph it and you don't see it anywhere on your screen. And the reason why is because the y-intercept is up here at 45, so it's way up here. You have to do some zooming to actually see it on your graphing calculator. But anyway, that's how you would use that up and down, and also you have to use your left and right to come up with the graph.